Right. Welcome back. This is the week you missed. It's a week you probably should have missed because shit is getting crazy. Midterms are coming up in a week. It's November 1st right now. And part of me thinks all the crazy news might have to do with that. Who knows? But shit is definitely taking a turn for the wilder. So what do you got for us this week, Todd?
So last week, I think the most fun thing for me to be watching, like it's not the biggest news in the world, although people are treating it like it is Elon Musk finally finalized his acquisition of Twitter,
Big
and
news.
the freak out just immediately started. And it's just been hilarious to watch.
Ligma Johnson.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. For anyone who doesn't know, there was basically, I guess it was some like just prankster was walking around outside of Twitter headquarters with like a cardboard box full of like fake office supplies and basically telling people that he was a Twitter employee who got laid off. And he said his name was Ligma Johnson, right?
No, it's two guys. One guy's last name was Ligma. The other guy's last name was Johnson.
Yes. Okay. So basically making a joke about like lick my Johnson. I feel like it's a classic little play on words that I've seen used before. But they were being like seriously interviewed by news outlets, and people were reaching out to them being like, "Oh, we'd love to hear your story, Ligma." Or like Ligma, Mr. Johnson. And it's just so easy to fucking troll these people. It's like
What it reminds me of I don't know if I mentioned it to you before. There's some special on Netflix it was really good about like sports controversies or whatever. They had one about like the ref who was cheating, like pulling
yeah.
bets for the mob, whatever. They had one on Manti Te'o, and when
Mm-hmm.
Manti Te'o had the fake girlfriend,
Yep.
and it was eye opening because I don't remember, or I only remember some things from that story, and I didn't realize what the story was really about or how much
Yeah.
like was involved with it. But when it was like BuzzFeed or whatever news agency broke the story, do you know what their story was? Like what it was meant to be?
What?
They basically were putting out a story that, hey, these news agencies don't do their due diligence and don't make sure what they're reporting is true. Because like a couple weeks prior, it came out that Manti Te'o's girlfriend and grandma died within like 2 hours of each other. And then this news agency found out that that was fake. And the reason that they brought it to light wasn't to say, hey, Manti Te'o is like fake girlfriend, this, that. They're saying, hey, look at this. We had thousands of news agencies last week report on this news event, and there's actually no substance to it. They didn't corroborate the story at all. They just put this story out. And then no one listened to BuzzFeed about that. They just heard, hey, Manti Te'o doesn't have a girlfriend. And then it was like, oh, Manti Te'o must be gay, this, that. And it became nuts. And the original person who broke the story said, yo, the only reason we broke the story was to say, hey, the news doesn't do their due diligence
Yeah.
and puts out bad news. And same thing seems to like happen there is like the news just puts shit out without corroborating at all. It wouldn't have been too hard to find out that Ligma Johnson wasn't really a worker
A Twitter employee.
at
Yeah.
Twitter. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I think the whole thing is, and you bring up the midterms, and like it is funny because I'm already starting to see stuff floating around on Twitter where people are like, Elon is, basically turning off the number of people who have access to these like censorship tools and moderation tools leading up to the midterm elections, and like this could be something that helps determine like the fate of America and democracy and da 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 da. And it's like I can already see the groundwork they're laying where they're gonna say, because look, it's been looking like the Democrats were basically gonna get shellacked in this election for months now, and certainly in the last few weeks it has really sort of bounced back, that it looks like the Republicans are going to do very well. And I think they're already starting to set up sort of reasons and excuses, anything but, hey, you ran bad candidates or you have policies people don't like, um, as a reason why the silly and stupid American public, didn't vote for the right team. So it wouldn't shock me at all if you saw some sort of like call for investigations or just going deeper into Musk or Twitter or whatever following the elections, because they're going to blame Elon's acquisition of it somehow as being like a tipping point in support for that. But it's just been absolutely crazy to watch people freak out, and it's very reminiscent of, hey Jeremy, how many people did you hear say they were going to move to Canada if, I don't know, George Bush won or Trump won or
Yeah,
a lot, right? Like a lot of
but
people.
plenty.
How many people did?
None.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe a handful, I'm sure. Like
You
people that
moved
were,
to North Carolina. That's about all I know.
yeah. So it
But
just feels
well,
silly because all
did
these
you
people are
see?
like, I'm going to leave Twitter. And it's like, you're not.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities are starting to say like they're leaving Twitter. What I don't get is why, or like I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? And then it's like, why don't you leave cable television? Because cable television has so much nonsense on it. Or how about this? Why don't you leave the internet? The internet is crazy, has a lot of bad stuff on it. It's like, why is the line at Twitter but not anything else? Just like doesn't really make sense to me.
Well, that's what I don't get because it reminds me sort of the aftermath of the January 6th riots where, like, Parler got basically nuked off of all the app stores and Amazon Web Services and all this because it's like, oh, it was used to help organize the January 6th riots. It's like, okay, maybe a little bit, sure, but the number one platform that was used to organize that day was Facebook.
Right.
That's what all these old boomers use. It was Facebook.
Exactly. And
But
I mean, Facebook too, like maliciously started. I don't know offhand, so I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but there's some like revolutions that Facebook literally started, and then there's also like elections that it was proven Facebook neglect or what's the word meddled in these elections and like only showed positive news stories about this guy being elected and not this guy. It's like people prefer that over freedom of speech is a little wild to me. Is like Facebook is known. Facebook messed up our election. The what was that shit called? What was that called? Cambridge Analytica or something.
oh, yeah. No,
That
yes,
no,
it's
no one left Facebook because of that because they literally meddled in our election. But people are leaving Twitter because
I
some
just
people are starting to use derogatory words. I don't know. It doesn't really add up to me.
well, and it's because it's so funny because it's like everyone's like there was an explosion of racial slurs after Elon took over, and it's like, you know what? And I bet a lot of those accounts are getting banned because Twitter hasn't changed their policies yet. So they're
Right.
probably getting purged. And also, if you don't see the obvious move of saying, hey, I don't like Elon, I'm going to make it look like a cesspit when he takes over. So I'm going to spin up hundreds, thousands of bot accounts to just tweet out the most vile shit you've ever seen automatically. Like, obviously, that would happen.
Right.
Obviously. Like, this is going to go, there's going to be craziness for about like a week or two. It'll settle down. Elon will start making changes. There will be some more bullshit that bubbles up. And then within, I don't know, 2 to 4 months, we'll probably have like a new equilibrium of what Twitter is that will sort of settle in over the next like year.
I
Uh,
wouldn't be surprised if a Ukrainian commander uses Twitter to like put out put out signals or whatever for their army, and then people say, "Hey, Twitter's instrumental in the war against Russia. We need to stand behind Twitter." And it's like, "Yo, you guys are just mad no matter what."
yeah.
Because the reason I say that is the Starlink is like people hate Starlink, but it was necessary or is necessary for Ukraine to have a shot against Russia. Is like, what do you guys want from this guy?
Yeah.
They just
No,
want
exactly.
complaints.
The Starlink thing is actually what was really interesting because it's like if it's like everyone's hating on Elon for like when he put out that poll being like, should there be a peace agreement or whatever? And then shortly after he caught a bunch of shit for that, and some like a Ukrainian diplomat tweeted at him and told him to fuck off. And then he's like, oh, I should fuck off? Okay, start paying for the internet I'm giving you then. And
Yeah,
then
it's
everyone was like, how dare you? And it's like, yes, how dare he supply them with enterprise level satellite internet that they can use anywhere on a battlefield? How dare he want to possibly be compensated for that after basically being told to fuck off by high ranking officials from the country he's helping?
yeah, it's crazy to me. Like
I
I don't
don't,
know what people
but
want, but
just
so
watching this whole meltdown on Twitter has been hilarious, and it's just so funny because these people like they think they're so important, and like their inflated sense of self-worth is just wild to see, and people being like, well, I'm not going to be here anymore. It's like, you will be back in a month because you will realize that you don't have another platform to reach people as easily as Twitter.
Yeah,
Sorry. like
e-
like
exactly.
anyone who's in a business that is driven by getting eyeballs on content, so i.e. every person in the media, celebrities, influencers, unless you are already well developed on another platform, you're going to be on Twitter. You're not
Hmm.
going to walk away from 100,000, 500,000, a million plus followers. You're not. You're
Yeah.
absolutely not, because they're going to not do it. They're going to be like, where, why am I getting much less traffic on this? It's because, oh yeah, because you took this principled stand for some unknown reason, that isn't really justified yet, and walked away from Twitter. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I guess that was stupid. And they'll just be back. But I don't know. It'll be funny.
So where do you see Twitter in like 2, 3 years? Do you think they're going to go public again? Do you think that the price will be higher than where he bought it at? Do you think it'll go down or active users will go up? What do you think?
I think active users will probably stay about the same or equilibrium, because I think you're going to have some people that will leave for ideological reasons or because they hate Elon. But I think there will be many people that will join because of this like new promise of saying that, it's going to be sort of more even-handed in terms of partisanship, or the way it treats sort of disinformation that maybe isn't disinformation. And I think the total number of users on the platform, I think, is going to drop, because I do think that Musk will try to do a bot purge and try to have something in place where, it will force people to, really show that they are an actual person who's using it and not just some robot or part of like a troll farm. I think that Elon will push for the development and inclusion of more tools and better features within Twitter. Because I'm not a big Twitter user. I basically just use it to like just follow news, and every now and then I'll comment on something. But like I just use it to like keep, see what's going on, because it really is kind of a neat tool for getting shit like right when it's happening.
Right.
Um, but I do think that from reading other people, they're like, yeah, there's a lot of features that Twitter could have like easily added that is like they just haven't for some reason. Like everyone sort of admits, and even before Elon bought it, that like Twitter was a really poorly run company. I don't think it's ever been profitable.
I think 2 years it's been profitable out of like
and
20.
and so like everyone's also freaking out about being like, Elon says he's going to lay off 50% or 25% or this, and it's like Twitter was going to do that anyways. Twitter
Right.
was about to go through massive layoffs in the next probably 6 to 12 months. And actually, I just read an article today that talked about how this is a growing trend in a lot of these tech companies, is that a lot of VCs and other sort of business people in the space are being like, yeah, these companies are completely overstaffed. And it basically had to do with the fact that, I guess, for when these companies are growing so fast, you have this like um this desire to make sure you've got a really deep talent pool. So it's like,
Mm.
all right, I might not know what this person is going to do exactly, but I want to make sure I have them if I need them. So I'm going to snap them up, give them a nice salary, give them some stock options, and we'll do what we can with them.
Mm.
So I think it'll be interesting. I think that, it'll be, I don't think anything that Musk is going to do is going to be too outside of the norm with regards to how the business is actually run. I do think he's going to do some things that um, people are not going to love, in terms of content. But look, I don't think I think continuing to ban like blatant abusive hate speech, like if someone's just calling someone the N word or the K word or this, like fine, ban them. If it's
Right.
someone who's saying some wacky conspiratorial shit that sort of like dabbles into anti-Semitism or like racism, like I don't know, like I'm sort of always been on the thing of like, honestly, I'd rather know if someone thinks this wacky shit so I can be like,
Exactly.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and but I do think the thing to watch out for, the thing to keep an eye on will be, in this, if this happens, it will be a fight for the fucking ages. If the app stores choose to delist Twitter from the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store,
That would be crazy.
that it will set up a lawsuit, it will set up congressional investigations. As I already saw that people like this rumor is starting to swirl, and I've already seen like senators being like, if they do this, there will be investigations because
Yeah, definitely.
this is kind
This
of
is,
wild.
yeah.
I think the other interesting thing to watch coming out of this will be that oh shit, and this relates to the other big story that I think is going to get buried, but it's basically been proven now that the government was working hand in hand with big tech companies to basically allow the government to say we want this content taken down, and they would basically just do it. They
Mm,
set up portals for people for government officials to log into to quickly file complaints. I don't know if you remember when Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan, he brought
yeah.
up that he's like, you know, like the
They told
FBI,
him to do it.
he's like, the FBI told me to do it. And the FBI quickly came out and was like, that is a complete lie. That is complete nonsense. And like at the time, I was like, it doesn't sound like a lie to me. Like it seems like
Yeah.
something you would do. And now it's basically been proven that Zuckerberg was telling the truth, but he was probably being a little bit vague because he doesn't want to run afoul of the U.S. government's like law enforcement division.
Right.
But
Just
now it's been
controlling.
exposed, and so I think that there could also be like Elon now owns all of these company records and all these documents and everything else. So I think that my guess and my hope would be that Elon in wanting to increase transparency would be like, yes, this is what the government was doing. This is what the government, how they were interfering and trying to sort of get around the First Amendment by basically being like, it'd be really great if you would do this for us. We're not saying anything, but as a reminder, we run this entire show and we have regulatory powers and investigative powers. And, life could get really uncomfortable if this stuff has continued to go on. Not that we're threatening you, of course, but
Yeah, it
just
could get
keep that
wild.
in mind. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I think it's gonna get things are gonna get spicy. I think it's gonna get wild. And I'm here for it with my popcorn, just waiting. But
Yeah.
what's on your mind?
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely curious to see what's gonna happen, but it I'm certain it's gonna be spicy and wild. I hope in the end it's good. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be crazy.
it's interesting to watch, that's for sure. So mine this might feel a little unrelated. I'm gonna wind it all together, so just bear with me. But basically, last week I was friend zoned by this girl. And it was the second girl like in a row that I was friend zoned by that I thought like, oh, maybe there's a chance, whatever. So that happened. I I thought I was making a joke about it, and I posted on like Facebook saying, "Hey, I just got friend zoned again by a girl." And then this is a joke. I'm gonna say this like 5 times because people didn't seem to get that it's a
Oh
joke.
boy, what are you about to
And
say?
and I said like something along the lines of like, if it happens again, I might have to start following Andrew Tate. And like,
Oh no,
I don't even
Jeremy, come on.
I don't even really know who this guy is, but holy shit, that just opened the floodgates and people got so mad. I was told that I need therapy. I was told like this and that, and like uh, I don't know. People just got pissed, and it was wild to me. And then here's the thing: I told you it was a joke. I'm not. I don't think. I don't know anything about this guy really. I just
Yeah,
know that he's like a controversial person with women. But basically, it got me thinking because all these people started bashing me and all this. And then I started researching him a little bit, and it looks like there's some controversy that he like hit women, and there's like a few instances. One of the instances looks like it might have been just sex foreplay, just like got wild or rough. But the other instance doesn't look like there's much defense for it. It seems like he was definitely like a little violent. Then there's talk about like he has like these rape houses in Romania or something that he's like scamming guys with like webcam girls, this, that, whatever. I don't know. I did all this research though, a little bit, and I like there's not that much that he got arrested for and got a felony. A lot of this is just people talking, and it's like I thought in America, innocent until proven guilty. If the guy didn't get arrested, are we just gonna just assume that all of this actually happened, or are we gonna like wait for proof or use like have the court of law make the decision? Because that's like what they're for. So that was one thing that kind of went in on my head. But then another thought was like, hey, this guy talking badly about women. I hope people who know me know that that's nothing I stand for. Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't support that at all. I do, though, support freedom of speech a bit. And I guess, like, I always find just contradictions or hypocrisies. I'm like, wait, that doesn't really make sense. If you're mad at this, shouldn't you be mad at this also? So a lot of people are mad at this guy, Andrew Tate, for talking bad about women and this and that. So then I brought up, I said, like, yo, what about rap music? And I brought up a couple like lyrics from, I think, like Eminem, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, DMX. And these lyrics were along the lines of, if you're like 13 drugged up, I'm gonna fuck you and your cousin and rape you too. Like, that was basically what one of the lines was. Another was like, I'm gonna shoot you and then fuck you as a corpse until you're like a zombie, like some
Yeah,
wild shit. And
yes.
then I brought that up and I was like, yo, these are some wild lyrics. Why isn't anyone like upset about this? But people are upset about this Andrew Tate guy. Like, shouldn't we have that equal energy for these people who are talking bad about women, bitches, beating them, all of this? And
Yeah.
then people argued back, oh no, it's just art. Like, there's a difference between believing in a philosophy and art. And then I question, how do you know that Andrew Tate isn't just doing performance art? How do you know he really believes this? And he believes this, but a rapper doesn't believe it. How do you dictate that and decide that is a little confusing to me. But then all of that, I'm still just like been thinking about this for the last couple of days. And then today I feel like I hate to be like even more right. Checkmate though. Migos gets murdered this morning.
What?
Me, yeah, Migos Offset got murdered this morning. That's like the 10th rapper this year. Big time rapper, PNB Rock. There's like four
Yeah.
rappers in jail on RICO charges for like gang banging and this and that. They've been getting murdered left and right. O Block in Chicago has someone murdered like every month. Not all of them are super famous, but there's someone like shot and murdered every month. This in this rappers glamorize this. There's Tory Lanez is one of the biggest rappers, singers in the industry right now. Got a shot Megan Thee Stallion. He literally shot this girl in the foot and is still a platinum record artist. So where is this consistency? We're mad at Andrew Tate. Why aren't we mad at any of these rappers? And people say, "Oh, the rappers, it's just some music, it's just whatever."
No, it's not.
Why can't we say the same thing about Andrew Tate? Because it's like, from the rappers I listed, they have dozens of felonies. Andrew Tate doesn't. Not defensive of Andrew Tate at all. But I don't understand why people are so quick to judge and conclude on one person, but also at the same time so quick to defend and say, no, that's not the same, when it seems pretty similar.
Rap, and as someone who listens to a lot of rap myself, or has certainly at many points in my life, I don't, it has always been weird because like the rappers just sort of get a fucking pass on it, like on everything, on like the blatant misogyny, on like the blatant glorification of violence, like, and not just violence towards each other, but like violence towards women, violence towards like whatever, like,
Or
and
authorities or
yes,
whatever.
like and like, and again, like, I don't care. I think they should be able to rap about all that because I believe in free speech. And if they want to talk about this shit, they should do it. And if they actually do these things, they should be held accountable under whatever laws they violated. Regarding the Andrew Tate thing, like, from my understanding, and I haven't been following it much just because like I do not care. But he does sort of seem like a weirdo, sort of scumbaggy kind of guy. I definitely have seen videos of him smacking around women that I think happen in other countries, which are very disturbing. And like, this guy does not seem like someone I would want to like hang out with. But again, I also do know how things can be taken out of context, and that if you only know one, like, I
You
know
know how
that.
many football players in the NFL are on current rosters with
Yeah,
sexual assault or domestic abuse
a whole
charges?
lot.
Literally, there's it came up like last year. There's a player who got suspended for the whole season for like weed charges. There's another guy who like raped 20 girls and was still on a team. It's like, why
Oh,
can you be on a team and domestic assault or domestic abuse people and it's accepted, but this guy, I don't think Andrew Tate should be accepted either, but I don't understand how people can be okay with one and in the same breath say the other needs to be banned and like executed.
Well, it's
It
because I mean
doesn't make sense.
at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact, and it's because there was a wave of people telling you that Andrew Tate was bad and that
Right.
he was the enemy in this moment. He is the person to be shunned, to be feared, to be attacked. And that's the way it is. And you just don't see that happening with these, scumbag. I mean, shit, this, I guess whatever's going on with Kyrie Irving, and he tweeted out some like insanely anti-Semitic, like,
And then stood
that
by
he,
it.
yeah, and was like, they had some good points. And it's like, no, they didn't.
Yeah,
None.
it
Zero.
didn't. It didn't. Yeah.
But like, in the fact that he's just going to keep on dribbling and doing his shit and you know what? I don't care. He's an idiot. He plays
Yeah.
basketball. He's not a
Yeah.
scholar. He's not an academic. If you're
He thinks
taking
the
away,
world is flat.
he thinks the world is flat. Idiot.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like, okay, what a shock. Dumb people gonna have dumb takes that are probably sometimes offensive. It's the same reason, like, I don't really care about what Kanye West says because he's a moron and he's probably sort of crazy. He's good at making beats and apparently good at making clothes and shoes. He should really stick to that. But like, I don't put any weight in like if I started mouthing off about nuclear physics or my thoughts on like how to run a particle accelerator, people shouldn't be like, this man is dangerous. They'd be like, he has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Exactly.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like,
Unfortunately, though, a lot of people do give weight to what these people say and
yeah,
then like act upon it, and it's a little concerning.
yeah. No, I think I do think it is crazy. I think we are fully in clown world and like I don't know, man. Like I don't hold on, let me Google something real quick to see if it's real.
Hmm. Did you see that Offset got killed this morning?
I saw it. I didn't know who Offset was, but now I know who the Migos are. I just know that one song that has got that good beat, but I feel like subpar lyrics. I've never liked any of the music. I don't think they're that good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Um, but I don't know. But to be fair, I really haven't
So
listened to much Migos.
just to
Um,
share a little bit about the shooting, supposedly he was playing dice with these guys at a party, and then
okay.
he was losing badly, and then started talking shit. And the people he was talking shit to were the wrong people to talk shit to.
Like they were like
Um,
actual bad.
Big time gangsters. And then supposedly, Migos's crew shot at this crew, and it was probably friendly fire that killed him.
Oh God. You know what? And these idiot rappers, it's like go to a goddamn gun range, learn
Yeah,
how to shoot.
practice, practice.
Like if you guys are gonna be because it's like, oh, like honestly, I really don't care if you guys kill each other, but like it's you're gonna get random civilians killed, and like that's the tragic part.
Yeah, it's not
At
cool.
least be able to put, you know, the bullets in the person you're trying to shoot. Like,
Right?
can you at least do us that favor? Doing that.
Crazy.
But the story I wanted to bring up that I saw last night and I just confirmed is not just some bullshit I saw on Twitter. Apparently, a planet killer asteroid has just been spotted that was
Yeah,
like hiding in the
in the
sun's
sun.
glare. So you
Yeah.
know what, Jeremy? Maybe an asteroid will just solve all these problems for us by just taking us off the board.
That's it's a great way to look at it, because a lot of people would see that as a problem. I like that you see it as a solution. It's
I mean,
positive thinking.
I certainly think that if it turns out that it's going to collide with us, I think a lot of these little bullshit ticky tack issues that people are at each other's throats are going to go away real fast. I think we're going
That's
to figure out what's actually important.
dude,
Like,
did you see the movie Don't Look Up? You're
yes.
completely wrong. We get more mad at each
Oh,
other.
please. That movie was full of shit.
That movie was the most realistic movie I've seen all year, dude.
that movie was idiotic.
It's true, dude. It is
Uh,
true. We'll talk about that more next time, though. This is a great week we missed. This next week is gonna be fucking batshit crazy. It's the week up to midterms. I'm excited for it. We'll see you guys next week,
yeah,
and we'll
wait.
talk all about it. If we're still here, the asteroid might hit us. We might not be here, but we'll see.
Let's plan on doing the next one the day after election day, so we
That
can come in with hot takes on the election results.
that sounds perfect. I can't
That'll be
wait.
perfect.
I'm excited. I'll see you then.
All right, later.
Later.